Hey everybody, this is Jesse Stoddard here with Auto Style Marketing, and with me I've got Fatima, my assistant, and who helps with all kinds of things in our business. And in today's webinar, we're going to reveal how to convert significantly more visitors into leads and paying customers, whether you're focusing on retail clients who want to just personalize their cars, or dealership partners seeking efficient turnkey installations, or commercial fleet managers needing upfits. And by the way, a lot of people think that digital marketing is only for retail and it doesn't have anything to do with wholesale, dealership wholesale, or fleet upfitting, but it does. And we talk about that in some of our other trainings. So if you're interested, I can let you know where to find that. But this is kind of from the Restyler industry lens. So we're looking at how to optimize your Restyler website for maximum conversion. And it's for aftermarket automotive accessory installers and restylers. So if that's you, you're in the right place. If you're a distributor of products or you're a manufacturer, this would also be useful to you. But it's primarily targeted toward the restylers to boost their retail sales, dealership, wholesale, commercial fleet upfitting revenue stream. So without further ado, let's progress. All right, so the first thing, the number one factor influencing your marketing ROI is your website. It is the hub of everything you do. Okay, so for instance, a typical restyler might get 1,000 site visits every month, but if 5% convert and that turns into 50 leads, and let's say there's 15% conversion, we'd see 150 leads, 3 times more, without spending any extra money on ads. And that's how important a website is if it converts. So all digital ads, social media posts, or offline marketing eventually funnel potential customers to your site. So you could even have in dealer placemats. You can put out your business card. You can make visits. They're all going to check you out online, especially the younger generation, which, by the way, the older generation is aging out. And if that's you, you're welcome here. And we love that you're willing to be open-minded and on the cutting edge of the change. Even dealership or fleet managers are eventually going to check your site. And they're going to see your capabilities before they contact you or wonder whether you do something. They don't want to have to call you just to find out if you install X. And in the old days, of course, that's what they wanted to do. And they still might do that. But you also need that site backing you up. Number 2 is the conversion gap. So if your site's not tailored to restyling buyers' concerns, then you're going to lose prospects to the competitor who are doing a more straightforward approach. So minor improvements in things like the call to action, the images or videos, the site structure can triple your leads, even if traffic stays the same. That was the example I used earlier. So, and the impact on your growth is going to be huge. So more conversions online mean more booked appointments, mean more revenue to scale your operations, which you can then take some of that and put it back into marketing to grow even more and go into hiring people. You're either growing or you're shrinking. It's hard to stay the same. And it's crucial for multi-location restylers. Some of you who are trying to open up another shop or two, or you're acquiring. And so if you're doing that, or you're expanding into new services like introducing paint protection film for the first time, or commercial fleet upfitting if you hadn't been before, that website is going to be a major component in that. So imagine the difference, right, in real install revenue from that shift. And that's the big why. So today we're going to go over retail versus dealership versus fleet, and there are differences there. We'll highlight the distinct website needs for each audience. Okay, we're gonna on the retail side. There's book and install, there's get a quote, there's find my price. That's another one we like. We'll show you some examples of that if there's time. And then on dealership, there's going to need to be some kind of a dealer login, accessory portal, etc. Maybe you're working with our partners over at Restyler Connect with their AAC, aftermarket automotive accessories configurator. And then there's fleet and commercial. So upfitting consultation, specialized pricing, the things that matter to them are going to be different. And don't forget, on fleet and commercial, it's not if your whole business has been on dealerships, that's great, but it's not just the fleet manager. Remember, you can go direct consumer like you do with retail. You can go direct to business owners who own fleets of vehicles. Wouldn't that be nice? And build the demand there before they even buy their next truck or van. Okay, so a critical website elements are things like an authentic team and shop images. This one is lacking on most sites. We go through so many of them. It's like, You just look like a nameless, faceless entity. There's no personality. They don't know there's a human. People buy from people still, even if it's online. So you need to have your team. Where's your photo? Where's your headshot? Where's your team photo? Where's people having fun? Where's the pictures of the shop? They want to see and feel like this is a real business that and get a little inside scoop. There needs to be social proof and reviews. Google reviews are big, but even things like your SEMA Pro membership badge and brand certifications and the other brands you work with, the things, the manufacturers you carry, etc. Clear calls to action for each major service category. So if you're selling window tint, leather, paint protection, you have to have something geared toward that and a call to action for that, and it needs to come out really obvious on your website. Mobile friendly design and site speed. This is a huge one now. Google will downgrade you if you don't perform well on mobile. If you're not super lightning fast on mobile, especially, you will get downgraded on desktop as well. But mobile, they care even more and more about. And a lot of people are just on their mobile phones, their cell phone, when they're looking you up anyway. So you need to be good on desktop and mobile, including, sometimes even the in-between size, which would be like on an iPad, right? So the third thing is live chat and automation, okay? And by the way, we're going to show before and after stuff. And for now, I want you to jot down any aha moments you have, or like your top 2 or 3 changes that you can implement right away. That's what we want to focus on. And so you might, even just from something I've said, that might jog your memory about something else. You might go, oh, I should work on that one. Write it down, and then we can talk about it if you want. Okay. You can ask questions. We can answer those questions for you. The live chat and automation is huge. Why immediate text chat follow-up is crucial. Reducing missed leads and capturing visitors after hours is critical. These are really important. Number 4 is examples from industry leaders. So I've got a couple of websites we can show: Autoplex, AutoTrim, Wicked Wraps, Auto Editions. There's some really good ones that we have that you can check out that have real conversion results and a lot of lessons learned. And then an action plan. So at the end, I'm going to give you an action plan: 3 to 5 recommended changes to boost your site's conversion within 30 days. And then Q&A and how to get additional help from AutoStyle Marketing if you want it. So that's kind of it. I've already given you some tips, but we're going to dive in deeper. So let's talk about the 3 audiences. Okay, there's 3 different audiences. Each group has a different pain points. So even if your site is used by everybody, like a simple dealership or fleet services link signals you serve each segment. So, or if you have a second website, I have some clients that have, they're doing government contract for fleet on one, and they had to spin off the restyling side and do just for more retail and dealership wholesale, and then fleet for small business rather than, big like school buses and stuff. But they link to each other, they refer to each other. Okay. And then the separate pathways are going to streamline the site navigation. So the 3 different ones is retail, dealership, wholesale, and commercial fleet. For retail, they're going to be searching for specific accessories like window tint near me, leather seat installation, etc. Right? They're typically concerned about quality, price, warranty, style, and quick turnaround. So those are the key things you need to talk about in your copy. Your website must speak to the benefits, big time on benefits, the comfort, personalization, aesthetics. And by the way, a little note on the wording. What's very interesting is the word custom. Like, we use the word custom all the time, and customization, and SEMA uses that word. And that word is true, and it should be used on your website. You're not trying to avoid it, but you shouldn't only use that word, because technically speaking, when someone's looking up custom, sometimes they're thinking like customize my, what they're thinking is, let's get it into the shop to increase my, my horsepower, right? Or like get involved in the engine, right? And they're thinking maybe restoring their 1965 T-Bird, right? So customization is a big, broad term. And a lot of times for restylers, it gives you what you don't want unless you want to do oil changes, right? So what ends up happening is you get kind of the wrong person, but personalization is really the perfect word, because that's what people are doing with this, and it's very cosmetic focused, right? So you want both words, but don't ignore the personalization word. Number 2, dealership wholesale. So already have a car sales process. You probably already have that, and that's what they have, right? They already know all about that, and they need an efficient install partner. So their focus is different. Obviously, it's B2B focus for you. And so we want to provide a discrete button or portal like the dealer login or the dealership account access, something like that, and emphasize speed and reliability, how you help them close new car buyers and custom add-ons. I could do a whole training on this. We actually have a training on training the salespeople at a dealership to sell for you that Josh Polson and I did. And we can send you more information about that at another time. We should probably create a video about it. Maybe we'll do a webinar if there's enough demand. And it's the idea of getting them to open up their minds to sell more cars and more copy, more per copy, and more cars in general. And that message over and over again, you can sell more cars, but you can also make more money per car. That's the message over and over and over again. Then the commercial and fleet side, which is new, and a lot of restylers don't even have this yet at all. They're looking for consistent, scalable solutions to outfit multiple vehicles. And their priorities are going to include branding consistency, like even if you're doing decals and wraps on vans and trucks. Of course, there's the vehicle protection side and cost savings in bulk. I also want to mention that, the typical ladder racks and all of the shelving and all that kind of stuff, it's all a part of the same thing. They want that consistency. They want to see that you can do 10 or 20 and still have the high quality, and that you can get it done fast, because the guys that they've been working with for 20 or 30 years from the big upfitters, they've gotten lazy. They're the fat cats, and they're very long lead times. They're not in a hurry because they don't need to be, because they have had a monopoly for so long. So that's your opportunity to break into that. And you want your website to be a part of that process. Request fleet quote, get fleet pricing, calls to action, something in there that draws that out. Okay, so now let's talk about why real photos and social proof outperform stock images. We're really trying to get away from stock. Sometimes you got to use it, or you use a picture from the manufacturer. It's just going to happen. But customers in restyling often want visual proof of your workmanship. Okay, so first of all, the team and shop photos show that people buy from people. You're going to show your installers, your shop, real vehicles in progress. Authentic pictures equal higher trust. Right. And then number two, customer testimonials and reviews. This is huge. You want to feature star ratings from Google or industry platforms. You want to have video testimonials, and they can just be short 30-second clips, or it could be several of them put together of happy customers showing their tinted or upgraded ride, etc. Or if they're on the dealership side, you're interviewing them and you're asking them some questions. This is what we do for our clients, and they give feedback, and then we take the happy, comments and put them together, and it becomes your dealership testimonial video of all of the salespeople that you've done a good job for, and the GMs and the sales managers. So that's another option for you on that side. You do the same for fleet. And then another customer testimonial and review showing their tinted or upgraded ride, like specific examples, like, oh, here's what they did. Here's what these restylers did for us. Really cool. The third thing is relevant logos and memberships. So we mentioned that. So you want to put your SEMA badge on there, your SEMA Pro, your council membership, whatever, brand certifications, the 3M, WeatherTech, Catskin, Lumar, etc. And show you're legit and recognized by well-known organizations. These things add so much credibility and oftentimes make the difference between you being set apart from your competitor. Avoid over-reliance on stock images. So this is the big one. The real installs for the hero banners at the top, and stock images can appear generic or suspicious in general. So like seeing a real Tesla or F-150 you've worked on is always going to be far more compelling than a random stock photo or even the manufacturer's glossy photo. So there's a place for those, just kind of in generally showing what you do. But the real, even if they're not perfect, are often going to outperform, especially in social media. Okay. And behind the scenes videos to further connect your site with visitors are great as well, and weaving them together. So these are just some thoughts in terms of the visual part that you want to think of. And we're not talking a lot of SEO or high tech stuff where you got to be a programmer or whatever, or a web developer. This is just basic stuff that anybody can do. You just have to gather the assets, gather the photos and the videos. And if you don't have much, start today, right? Okay, this is 11 proven ways to boost conversion on your Restyler website. Love just some great little tips. These elements compound, by the way, so even small changes like moving the phone number to the top right or adding specialized call to action, it can yield a major lead increase, just a little bit. And our team can do a free website audit to check for these elements and help you figure that out, by the way. So number one is the phone number in the top right corner. It's got to be large, click to call on mobile, easy to find, make contacting you frictionless in general. So next to that, we usually have a contact button or some other way to, because some people will want to just fill out a form and give more information or just want to email you. And some people just want to text. So that's what the website chat widget's about. But phone number, big time, make it easy. Number two, clear calls to action for each service. So you need like get a quote now, book now, schedule install, find my price is a good one if you're using AAC that I mentioned before. Specifically label your call to actions for window, tint, bedliner, leather, etc. Like make it really just easy to get to take action and not have to hunt around to figure out how to contact you. Number three is the mobile friendliness and the site speed. So we already mentioned this, but it deserves mention again. Over 70% of visitors use mobile devices nowadays. And so any slow load time, like a picture that isn't optimized or anything, it's going to kill your conversion. And Google is big on this. Number four is coupons and special offers or promotions. So it's really nice to have your seasonal or like a service specific, like a spring tint discount, right? Or something that gets their attention to take action now rather than next month. So especially for retail, quick wins for price sensitive shoppers, big time. And then number five is chat or text integration. So capture the leads who prefer not to call, right? There's a lot of those now, and automate after hours responses, and you can create automation around that. I will show you examples of all these things in just a little bit, but just for now, again, take some notes, think about what do you have, what do you not have on your deal there on your website. Capture 2 times more leads via chat and automated response. So we're going to dive into this again. Why chat? Visitors can ask quick questions. So how long does a spray on bedliner take, right? And by the way, a little secret insider scoop here, we train AI on the back end of our clients' CRMs to answer most of these easy questions for them. They don't give away pricing or anything. Well, they could, but some clients don't want that, or they just want a range of prices to give them a ballpark, to get rid of the tire kickers and then just find the good serious leads. You could do that too. But a lot of these, you don't have to have somebody sitting there all day, like answering these questions unless they want to. Unless that's part of the sales process, you can do that too. One of the shops we work with has people in there all day actually just chatting with people. They love it. And that's how they're digging up a lot of extra retail sales. I think Auto Trim Design in Seattle does a lot of that. Last time I talked to Micah. Number two, automation for missed calls and forms. So if a call goes unanswered, which is more often than you think, you'd be surprised when you see us, when we track our clients and when they're brand new and they haven't been working with us yet, and we show them all, we start phone call tracking and we show them how many they're missing. It's pretty sad, and you're losing business every day that you do that. So, but if it does go unanswered, send an immediate text. Hey, sorry, we missed you. How can we help? And that text, we call it missed call text back. It's a great feature. Form submissions trigger an auto reply text and email acknowledging the inquiry instantly. So if somebody does bother to fill out a form, you better be on it, and the automation can help you do that for you. Okay. Number three is 24/7 availability. So the chat is all helping you do all of these things. And even if a staff's offline, the chat bot or the AI driven Q&A can collect the lead and answer basic questions and kind of set them up for an appointment even. So the next day, your team continues the conversation seamlessly. They clock out at 5 or 6, they clock in the next morning, and they didn't lose the lead. The lead's primed and ready to go. That's teed up. That's what you love about that. Number 4 is fast lead to booked appointment. So a faster lead to booked appointment. So all studies are showing that responding within 5 minutes in sales in general can double conversion versus waiting an hour. So you have something that helps you do that, you're going to be better able to hit that number. And it's vital for high intent shoppers. So people that are not at the top of the funnel, they're like not just sort of learning about you, or they're in the they're kind of in the shopping around. No, they're like ready to buy. Like somebody wanting to schedule remote start ASAP or something, that person is going to be impatient. And so you've got to have that. And so those are reasons why the web chat, automated responses with AI are critical nowadays. And look, here's the other thing is your people are juggling tasks. And also the visitors of your website, your customers are juggling tasks. Everybody's ADD, right? Nowadays, they may leave your site if they don't get an immediate response, and then you lost them for good. And you just paid through ads or SEO or just time and effort for a lead that you can't convert because they left. So, by the way, on one site, after we added live chat, we saw conversion jumped from 10 to 19% lead conversion rate pretty much overnight, um, in one client. So like these are real examples, and it really works. So anyway, let's move on to the next one. Um, let's talk about sites converting at 2 to 3 times the industry average, which is really, really cool. And actually, I'm going to show some others here that are converting a little higher too than average, at least 1.5 to up to three times as much. So Autoplex, now this is a multi-location model. They have prominent service categories like window tint, PPF remote starts, easy navigation for each region, a front page chat icon. They have e-commerce concept for certain product lines. They're one of the only ones that are doing this right now, where they're actually a restyler also doing e-commerce, and they're selling. I'll show you that in a sec. Auto Trim in Seattle, which we're still upgrading right now, but they have a very interesting customizer that they're using, and get a quote on your accessories, find my price kind of thing. And real images of tinted cars and interior upgrades. They have a lot of photos that they took, not generic, and some local brand trust references. Auto Additions also. Now, when I created the slides, I wrote staging site. That's actually out of date now because guess what? It's live. So I'll show you that. They have their top menu is really clear and makes sense, and it's easy to read and understand. And the phone number and the call to action is there, and it's simple and clean. So let me just show you those. I'll actually stop this sharing, and we'll share a different screen here. Okay, get that going here. All right. Okay, so check this out. I'm going to show you Auto Additions first. So you'll know now I haven't been on this site in a while, or I cleared my cache or something. So it's showing me the cookies note. So that I'm going to click that. And now what you're seeing on what I want you to notice first, I'll zoom in a little bit here, is we've got services, fleet, upfitting. They've added this. We've added that to their site. About and context. It's a simple menu. There's not a lot of things on here. It's 5 things, but a big old call button. Boom, 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 right? And then a find my price and a dealer's login. So what's interesting about this, and this is autoadditions.net if you want to check it out on your own. So, and we use a background video on this one, which depending on this doesn't slow the website down if we do it right. So typically we're going to host these like on YouTube and just have it embedded here instead of slowing the site down. And some sort of a background, thing that gets attention. And then right away, we're hitting them with our core message, right? One-stop solutions for every vehicle upgrade. Experience the convenience of comprehensive vehicle customization, fleet upfitting, and repairs all in one place. So we actually spent a lot of time on the copy on this website, on writing it, and we did a full marketing plan and audits, and we call it our strategy first program. So a lot went into this, and it's still being improved as we speak. But if you notice, these are their top focus products. This is not all that they do, but right away on the homepage, we're seeing window tint. Now, window tint, paint protection, remote start and security, truck accessories, leather and heated seats, fleet upfitting, and then view more services, which is another way of saying, and everything else. So what you want to think about is, why did Josh want window tinting in the top left corner, the very first thing? Because that's what he wants to sell the most of and push the most, because of what? It's the best lead in to upsell to other things. It's hot right now in terms of being popular, and it is great margin. Okay, the number 2 one right behind that is paint protection. Same thing, high margin, very popular right now. You get them in on this, you might upsell something else, and so on and so forth. And then now trying to launch, like new things like fleet upfitting. This made the list because it's a new thing that they're trying to get into. So a lot of thought goes into what are you promoting at the top of your list of services. And the way to do that is make a list of everything you do and rank them from importance in a few categories. Profitability would be one. How popular it is right now would be another factor that you would consider. Another factor could be whether you just want to prioritize it or not. Like, for example, if it's a great lead in for other things in Auto House Automotive, I'll give you an example of that over here. Auto House Automotive. These guys, you'll notice what we do over here, and they've got a little bit of a different layout. It's a little bit more of a fancy magazine style look that we created for them. But all of these are real pictures of the real installers, right? The real stuff. And you'll notice that it has a different design, a different feel, but it also has a focus on certain things. right? And so you've got these services, you got a services menu, and you've got a focus. And what they want to get pushed on right away on the top, the very first one that you see is what? Truck accessories, spray and bed liners, also known as spray on bed liners. So we had to build 2 pages because SEO is interesting there and people are searching for both. But you'll notice this is the first thing other than their general business information, this is the first thing that they're pushing. Now, why? Because in this business and in this market, which is Hayward, California, the spray and bed liner is the best lead that tends to produce upsells later, right? So if you can get in a spray and bed liner, you know that they're more likely to buy other truck accessories. So it's not a loss leader. That's a retail term, which means you're going to lose money on the thing that you sell up front in order to make more money, have it on what they sell, what they buy later. Like they get them in the store on some product that you don't make any money on, but then once in their store, they buy more. It's not a loss leader because it's also profitable, which makes it even better. So when you're thinking about this, like back here, I was talking about this, you choose yours based on what are your not loss leaders. Like they don't make a loss. It's a win leader. Means you make money and it gets upsells going. And so you got to really think through how you're going to prioritize your whole list of stuff. While I'm here, because I promised to mention this a little bit, we were talking about converting websites, okay? And I mentioned another one called Autoplex. So Autoplex converts very high. It's a busier website. Now, we helped work with their team on a design they already liked. So this is not our design, but it is our development. And we helped significantly with rebuilding this whole website, making it perform better. But you'll notice they have a lot of things. You can still find their phone number. It's not quite as big, but it is right there. It also automatically changes depending on which location you're the closest to. Here, actually, I got to refresh my screen because I zoomed in wrong and my computer won't let me get back to it. Okay. But you'll notice that they have a lot of other call to actions as well. Oops, because I'm trying to share. I'll have to come back to that one. I think because I'm doing too many things on my computer at once. So I'll go to this one. We'll come back to it. So Auto House, you'll notice we created the mega menu. It's called a mega menu with when it's kind of pops out like this and it has other graphics. And we organize all their services in these categories. And this is kind of neat. It's like a catalog. And then their about is also a mega menu. And then you'll see the button right there, really simple. So this is a lot, but the call to action is not a lot. It's simple to see. So let me see if I can restart that one again. When I share my screen, sometimes my internet goes bonkers. So I'll come over here now. Another mega menu design, a little simpler, is here. So now we have some big image things, image thumbnails, and then a basic description. And fleet upfitting has its own section as well, because that's a new thing they want to do. So when choosing one of these, their top 5, they included fleet upfitting in there because they're trying to promote it. Right. So again, you rank it on those factors and then you decide overall what scored the highest in those. And this is how we landed on this to focus on it. Find My Price takes them to the configurator, which allows you to choose, any vehicle. So I could choose Ford and I could choose like a 2025 and I could go to the Bronco and then I can do let's just do the 2-door. And then you can see all the accessories related to it. So this is nice for a retail consumer, but it's especially for dealerships. And then they go to their own dealer login and they can log in from there. Okay, so that's how that works. Again, Autoplex is not being happy with me because I sharing my screen and running too many tabs, and so I'll just reload it. All right, so you can notice what they do is they have something called a book online. All right, so what this is their portal to the e-commerce side. Now, this is extra credit. I don't even recommend this most of the time, but it's a cool idea once you've got the basics down. And so you'll notice these guys, window tint, spray on bed liner, paint protection, gift cards, and heated car seats are all things they figured out how to sell online. What you're actually doing, by the way, let me show you an example. What you're actually doing is you're picking the style that you want. You're kind of selecting a few different options, and then, like the hood. So let's say we do like, full hood would look like that, 18-inch hood. And you can see the picture on the left changes as I move things around. No bumper, right? Which would be a little odd, but we could do that. Full hood with no bumper looks like that. And then a warranty option. And then you see your price right there. And so what it says is buy and schedule. So basically what they're doing is they're collecting the money up front and they're just scheduling the time for the person to bring their car in. Pretty ingenious. So they're not actually, it's not like eBay. They're not shipping this out for them to do it themselves. They're not selling the product. They're selling the installed product, which means you're going to come in and get it installed. Very clever. And it works for them in their locations to varying degrees, but they get a lot of extra sales from that. So it's very smart. If you look at their mega menu, it's also clean, like the one we did for auto editions, and just basic categories. And toppers are a big deal. We call them, what do we call them? I'm in the Seattle area. We call these canopies. They're called different things in different markets, toppers, whatever. Comfort tech, heated seats, etc. And then now we're starting one called by vehicle. So we're going to create vehicle versions of it. So vehicle specific pages, like one from Tesla, about Teslas, because they're trying to get into EVs. So I'm getting a little off the primary topic here, but I just wanted to show you these sites convert really well. Why? Because they're doing all the things we mentioned and more, right? You at least got to do those things. And one more I want to show here, or two more, is Wicked Wraps. Now, this is not a full service restyler yet. They focus on vehicle wraps, window tint, and paint protection film, but they do other things as well. And these guys have a zany, wild look, really cool branding. We can't take credit for the logo because the owner is a designer himself. He loves to make his own wraps, so he's a graphic designer, but we love working with him and making him look great. Did all the website work, a lot of videos and a lot of photos of their real work here, slideshows of all the stuff they've done, and pretty fancy, like a commercial and, for all these different purposes. And they have a podcast, and so here they are. Remember, we mentioned the brand stickers here, right? Who are his manufacturers? Who are the main people he worked with? Lots of quotes, testimonials, case studies, reviews, a podcast. Look at me, I'm in one of them. That was fun. And then examples from their website of different things they're working on, and a very easy form. Now, by the way, when you click the top request a quote, you'll notice these guys chose not to have the number here. They're so swamped that they don't want a bunch of random calls. So we changed this to just make it focus on the request a quote, which takes them down to the form. And then it asks a lot of questions because these guys are so busy right now that they actually need to weed them out a bit. So that's a good problem to have. But you'll notice right down here, there's that chat and all of the stuff on the back end for automation is there. These guys, same thing. There's that chat, right? And then I'm on the wrong page for this one, but we'll get that one going soon. So here is Auto Trim Design. You can see they also have a mega menu with all of their services and a fleet upfitting option. And then they have a Find My Price button. Their phone number is right above it. Dealership login. Find My Price is a big button, easy to find. Takes you to the configurator, which is the same one that Auto Additions has. You can choose your vehicle and find the accessories there. So that's really a key feature of theirs. They focus on 4 big categories. And then what we really love here is the before and after pictures. People love these. We're doing more of these. Here's that before, a boring cloth seat. Here's the after with the cool leather and the texture. Your regular truck that's all glossy versus the matte finish, and a video with the owner in it. So it's very, very personalized, and it's unique to them. And has all of the things that they offer as well. So that's a really good addition, and they use the chat as well. So hopefully that will help you. Let's get back to the presentation. Keep going. We'll finish up here. Some good examples. Fatima, how are we doing so far? Are we doing okay?
Yeah, we're doing great. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to go back to the presentation now. Let me know. Can you see that fine? Good to go. All right, let's move on to the next part. So we're almost done there. Okay, another couple more tips and some things to talk about. So let's talk about turning 5% conversions into 15% and a game changer for your bottom line. So if you take all these things and you put them together, what would happen? And you could go from a little modest jump in conversion, and it can have a compounding effect, right? It's justifying any of the work you do or the investment you make in even little site improvements like the live chat or the relabeled call to actions, making a big deal. So let's say in a sample scenario, you have 1,000 site visitors in a month. And let's say you have a 5% conversion rate. Okay, that means for all 1,000, only 5% turn into an actual lead. That'd be 50 leads. But let's say you make a couple of these tweaks, same number of visitors, and you bump it to 15%, that'd be 150 leads. Huge difference, right? But let's look at the revenue over time. If each lead's worth, let's say, X% average sale, which for you, it's probably like whatever, $600 or $500, right? So let's say it's $800 for a tinted and PPF package average. Some customers are worth a lot more, huge projects, others barely, like it's not even profitable. But the average, let's just say it's $800 if you just mathematical general average or a mean. Okay, that's 100 extra leads, right? Let's say you normally had 50, now you're at 150. 100 extra leads times $800, that would be $80,000 in potential monthly revenue increase. That's a big deal to your bottom line. And that's if you only get 1,000 site visitors. So imagine if you're increasing your conversion and you're increasing your traffic at the same time. And that's without raising ad spend, by the way, just that conversion or changing your traffic sources. If you were to also change your traffic, increase your app traffic through ad spend, then you could multiply that even greater. So number three, this is important. It applies to retail, dealer, and fleet, because in retail, more direct consumer upgrades are going to happen. In dealer, you could end up with additional preload or add-on packages. If you can get something on the floor there through preload, and I know it's primarily a sales function, not necessarily marketing, but the website and your marketing play a big role in supporting that, and sometimes getting you the lead to begin with to work on. Same with fleet. Upfitting each new work truck with multiple add-ons, it's going to be encouraged by the website, or the website could get you the lead to begin with to talk to. So it's not that sales and marketing are at odds or completely separate. They're two sides of the same coin. They work together. Okay, now let's talk about the 3 key upgrades to get more leads fast. Let's keep this simple. So pick at least one of these. For example, the call to action buttons or whatever, that can be done this week. So take this list and think, which one of these could I do right away? And then systematically knock out the improvements rather than waiting until everything's perfect. That's the way I would look at it. So number one, revamp your homepage and your service pages, at least one at a time. You got to replace the stock photos with real shots of your team and installations. Add those prominent call to actions we keep talking about per service if you need to, like get a window tint quote, or click here for window tint, and then they go there, and it's very easy to call and get a quote from there, etc. Ensure your phone number is at the top right. It's easily visible on mobile. Okay. Number 2 is add a live chat and a text integration. So choose a chat bot tool. We have them, by the way. You can try our system for 30 days for free, and it's really inexpensive. It's one of the most inexpensive, and it's the only totally custom Restyler CRM out there. You can learn more at autostylemarketing.com. A little plug for us there. And it lets you respond via mobile phone or a simple dashboard. And then set up an auto reply for off-hour inquiries, or just all inquiries if you want. We have some client, like Wicked Wraps that I showed you, we just have like the bot answering all of them because they got too busy. So it does a lot of the Q&A heavy lifting for them, so they only talk to the serious ones. And then number 3 is automate follow-up for forms and missed calls. So an example is, hey, thanks for your inquiry. When's a good time to bring your vehicle in for an estimate, or set up a time to chat. And any quick text like that can double your contact rate. So very big. So pick one of those 3, and then anything else on the list you can do after that. So if you want help with this and you are ready for a high converting Restyler website, you can get a free website conversion audit from us, and we will offer to evaluate your current site and versus, and compared to the 11 crucial elements we talked about and more. We provide a short personalized action plan. We just basically talk to you about your strategy, and we do a call for that. And then we can do done for you implementation. So AutoStyle Marketing can handle design updates, chat setup, automation scripts, everything we talked about. We can integrate your brand partners like we talked about, and also your software. For example, if you use Restyler Connect AEC, or you have some things on the back end that you want to discuss having integrated with your website, we can help with that. So schedule a strategy session at autostylemarketing.com. You can book a call and grab a time on our calendar, and we'll help you out. And that's pretty much it. So if there are any questions, you might have questions about your website design, the speed, your dream and vision for what you want it to be, or maybe you already have shop management software, accounting software, and you're trying to figure out how do we integrate these things? How do I get automat AI involved with my website? How do I get into the 21st century and beyond? That's what we were here to help you do. So all you have to do is to contact us at autostylemarketing.com. Let us know, and we will help you out. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.